Assalamu alaikum and salam sejahtera. Greetings to all. My name is Zulkhaliff bin Muhammad. I'm a music producer, a composer, an arranger, and a musician here in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Today I'll be talking to you about music composition and creating a demo. But before that, do follow me on Instagram at Khaliff Production and subscribe to my YouTube page, Khaliff Production as well. Okay, without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Okay, now what is song composition? Well, song composition is an art of creating music. It is distinct and it is fixed rather than improvisation, and it consists of a few elements such as notes, rhythm, melody, lyric, harmony, and phrases. Now, the most common misunderstanding that I face during my time in the music scene is that people tell me that it's hard to compose a song because you need expensive equipment, you need a studio, and you need a lot of people involved. Well, not really. Well, you can just start with the lyrics, or the rhythm, or the chord progression, or even the melody. Alright? Song composition is only the first step in making a whole package of a song. Alright? So it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright? Once you compose a song, always remember to record a draft track or a demo of the song. Alright? To preserve the idea of the song. Okay? And it'll be easier for you to pass it around to the music producer or the arranger for the heavy work. Okay, now before we go into the song composition, here are a few tips that you need to remember when composing a song. Tip number 1, create a catchy melody. Now remember, if you can't remember the melody, then no one will. Tip number 2, use all the chords available. Alright? Don't just stick to the chords that you know. Tip number 3, create a proven and memorable rhythm. Alright? Pick a beat that people can vibe to. Okay? Tip number 4, build your song around a riff. Alright? Sometimes it doesn't have to be a chord progression. Sometimes you can just use a riff and develop a song with that riff. Alright? A lot of hip-hop songs usually, build their song based on a riff. Alright? Tip number 5, create a song that you can perform live and enjoy it. That people can relate to. Alright? Tip number 6, sometimes stepping away from your preferred instrument is better. Alright? It's weird, but sometimes it does you wonder. Alright? It gives you a new freedom to create new ideas. Alright? Tip number 7, get ambitious with your song structure. Alright? You don't have to stick to the traditional structure of a song. Verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus again. Alright? Be ambitious. Tip number 8, when writing your lyrics, use structure and be spontaneous at the same time. Tip number 9, use rhythm as a tool. Alright? Sometimes the right beat can develop into a right and beautiful song. Alright? Tip number 10, which is the hardest, learn to break through writer's block. Tip number 11, start with the title. Sometimes a title can influence your thinking into creating the whole song. Tip number 12, make a list of questions and answers related to the title. Tip number 13, always carry a recording device, such as a handphone, a recorder, a laptop, anything, because sometimes you don't know when the idea of a song will come. Tip number 14, remember, always be inspired. Alright? Find your inspiration. It can be something that people talk about, or something that you heard on the news, something that you heard on the radio, something that your parents were listening to. Alright? Get inspired. Okay, so now moving forward, how to compose a song. When you're just starting to compose a song, remember these 4 elements: chord progression, melody, lyric, and rhythm. Now, there are a lot of ways of how you can create a song, but today I'm going to demonstrate starting with chord progression, rhythm, melody, and lyrics. Now, chord progression is a combination of chords. Now, not to worry, if you can't play any instrument, doesn't mean you can't compose a song. Alright, nowadays, there are a lot of plugins and softwares that can generate automatic chord progression. Now, if you look online nowadays, there are even samples of chord progression for free. Okay, so don't give up. Okay, now when you're just starting to compose a song, pick the simplest and the nicest and the most proven chord progression. For example, 1, 6, 4, 5. Okay, here are some examples of common chord progression being used in most songs. Okay, now those are some examples of common chord progression being used in most songs. But for today's session, I've arranged a different chord progression, and I was thinking of doing a hip-hop track. Okay, so I got my friends in the studio with me trying to help me out. So now this is the chord progression and the rhythm that I've come up with. Okay, check it out. Okay, so that was the chord progression and the rhythm that we're planning to do today for the song. Okay, now that you got your chord progression and your rhythm in place, let's try and create the melody with the chord progression that we created just now. So now that we have our chord progression, our rhythm, and our melody in place, it's now time for the tricky part, which is the lyrics. Okay, so now me and my friend are gonna try just say some gibberish stuff just to put in some lyrics to get an idea of the song. Okay, here we go.
Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Dulu-dulu masa aku masih duduk bawah, tiada siapa yang peduliku di sana. Mereka semua hanya lihat saja, tiada yang membantu, tiada ambil peduli juga. Jadi bila sekarang ku di atas, sudah ada pencapaian, aku naik atas pentas. Mereka ramai-ramai cakap yang aku ini naik sebab terlalu pantas. Jadi mereka tidak tahu apa usahaku, mereka tidak tahu penat yang aku lalui. Bertahun-tahun aku berusaha sampai aku sampai sini, kamu semua tahu juga. Jadi kamu jangan cakap aku beruntung, sebab aku rasa aku habis kena rentung oleh matahari, banting tulang sampai tengah hari.
Okay, so once you have your chord progression, your rhythm, your melody, and your lyrics, always remember to record a draft or a demo of the song that you compose. This is to preserve the idea of the song, because sometimes that inspiration can be gone just like that. Alright, so to preserve the idea, please record. You can either use your phone, a recorder, a laptop, anything. Okay, now that we got all that covered, now it's time for us to create the demo. Okay, so as you can see, I've recorded all the tracks that we played just now. The chord progression, the melody, the chorus, and the rap for the song. Here's the chord progression. And here's the melody.
Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku.
And here's the rap.
Dulu masa aku masih duduk bawah, tiada siapa yang peduliku di sana. Mereka semua hanya lihat saja, tiada yang membantu, tiada ambil peduli juga. Jadi bila sekarang ku di atas, sudah ada pencapaian, aku naik atas pentas. Mereka ramai-ramai cakap yang aku ini naik sebab terlalu pantas. Jadi mereka tidak tahu apa usahaku, mereka tidak tahu penat yang aku lalui. Bertahun-tahun aku berusaha sampai aku sampai sini, kamu semua tahu juga. Jadi kamu jangan cakap aku beruntung, sebab aku rasa aku habis kena rentung oleh matahari, banting tulang sampai tengah hari. Petang tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Bagi salam.
Now, as you see here, I've added a bass and a beat to the song that we created just now. Alright? So basically this is it. This is all you need to do a demo of the song, just to give a whole idea of the song with sound. Okay, so let's listen to it. So this is the full demo of the song that we created today.
Diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Ya, dulu-dulu masa aku masih duduk bawah, tiada siapa yang peduliku di sana. Mereka semua hanya lihat saja, tiada yang membantu, tiada ambil peduli juga. Jadi bila sekarang ku di atas, sudah ada pencapaian, aku naik atas pentas. Mereka ramai-ramai cakap yang aku ini naik sebab terlalu pantas. Jadi mereka tidak tahu apa usahaku, mereka tidak tahu penat yang aku lalui. Bertahun-tahun aku berusaha sampai aku sampai sini, kamu semua tahu juga. Jadi kamu jangan cakap aku beruntung, sebab aku rasa aku habis kena rentung oleh matahari, banting tulang sampai tengah hari. Petang tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Bagi salam. Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku. Ku tahu sebenarnya diriku tidak perlukan kamu, hanya ku dan diriku.
And voila, that's our demo for today. Okay guys, so that concludes our tutorial today. Have fun, get inspired, and keep composing, alright? Have fun.